Gemini, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early April 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Gemini collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Geminis in early April? Beautiful time of year. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you could lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Gemini in early April. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out. And it is my birthday week, my good friends. So I'm trying to send out as much birthday love and positive energy as I possibly can. So we're hoping for a good one here. So yeah, I mean, we have this watery, sleepy, meditative type of energy showing up. And I often see this attached to water signs. So it's interesting that it's showing up for yours. And there's a lot of good that can come from this card. But then there's some things we need to watch out for, like with all cards, right? But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the April subscriber surprise towards the end. So you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this lovely lady, and looks like she's doing some sort of yoga pose. Either that or she's sleeping in a very uncomfortable position, right? She's kind of like bent in half. You see the blanket draped, and it does have that dreamy type of vibe to it overall. Like, that's the best way to put it. Now, this is great for a lot of things. Again, like with anything introspective, meditative, prayer, connecting with one's inner voice, this is really, really positive. This could also be something about intuition and dreams. So if you haven't been getting too much good sleep, maybe Spirit wants you to rest and recuperate. That's a big thing with this card. But definitely watch your dreams. And I'm a big believer in dream journaling because it's good to really look back at details. It helps with dream recall. So again, especially if you're having very vivid dreams, make sure to jot them down or try to explore the symbolism behind them. Now, the downside to this, since it is so imaginative and so introspective, this could be a little bit of overthinking sometimes. So just watch out for that. I know Geminis are very cerebral and have active minds. Just make sure you're not like going through spirals when this shows up. But again, it could be very spiritual and rest based. So we're going to let her keep hanging out. We won't disturb. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for Gemini. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled A Big Return. And to me, it felt like the door was open for a lot of things to pop back up. Not just people, but even situations and behaviors and habits and stuff like that. Now, returns aren't always a bad thing. Sometimes we want certain things to revisit. And that's kind of what I was picking up last week, where it's like, I wouldn't mind revisiting this one. So just know energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. There could be a variety of different things cycling back around. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Gemini. What do we got in early April for our good friends? Get these cards flying. There we go. Card number 1. Cool. I mean, that's a good start. It's intense, but definitely a good start. Sun in first position. For those of you that know how to read, you're like, okay, we'll take that one, Kyle. Yeah, damn right we will. I'm going to put that sun right there. Let's get a couple more. What do we got here for Gemini in early April? Yeah, so the energy connecting to the past, just like we saw last week. We do have the 6 of Cups. That's another positive leaning card. So I don't want to smack talk it. Let's get one more here. What do we got for Gemini in early April? Cool. 7 of Swords, huh? All right, maybe this is our little curveball of the reading. So we have this guy here on the back end. We're going to have to look into that. You see him there making away with the swords. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know, I always like to look at the elements. It frames the reading well. Tells us areas of life that could be important. And a big theme I've been seeing with like fire and air signs this weekend is there's a nice mixture of elements. So it's not too much of one thing. And I'll always take that. For you this week, you have fire, water, and air. A lot of this is energy you are very comfortable with. So that's another very positive sign. But when we have the fire element, I always say that's the element of action. So whether it's the actions you take or the actions other people take, actions we want to take, even. Fire element is strong when it comes to health, wellness, vitality, and energy levels. So cool. The downside to fire, I mean, the good thing is just so passionate and there's a lot of motivation, a lot of get up and go. But the downside, there can be an unpredictable aspect to it. Like fire could take a left on us. There's an explosive quality. In the center, we have water. That's matters of the heart, things or people that we care for. Water does connect heavily to interpersonal relationships. Not only, though, so again, emotional investment, things that we care for, that we place emotional importance on. This could be great for that energy I was picking up in the beginning with that imaginative, creative type of vibe. So if those creative juices are flowing, awesome. Just watch out with the water with the overthinking. And the big downside to water is that sometimes it could be overwhelming. So watch out for feeling overwhelmed, whether it's energetically or things that you're actually going through. And then we have air, much more logical and pragmatic. That's your power element. That's your comfort zone normally. Air is extremely smart. It's about acquisition of knowledge and knowing. So I like that. It's I'm taking in information, and air does tie into communication heavily as well. The downside to air, sometimes it could be a little cold, sometimes it could be a little detached and a little flighty, where it's like here 1 second, gone the next. So there's some things to keep an eye on, but overall, I'm feeling optimistic. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we got the sun. Now, for those of you connected to Leo, maybe you have Leo placements, that's their power card. And a lot of readers would agree that the sun is the most positive card in the whole entire tarot deck. And I believe with that as well. To me, this ties in heavily to like source energy. It's just super pure. It could represent love and innocence and abundance. And it's all the gifts that we get from spirit. It's illuminating. So the sun brings life. And that's kind of how I think of this card, where it's like, wow, that's beautiful. So I think of wins, victories, blessings, all that stuff. Now, other aspects of the sun, they could represent things coming to light. So when we have such a shrouded card here on the back end and the sun in the front, whether it is searching, whether it's information coming up to the surface, could be even eureka moments where it's like, I see now, I get it. The sun is about truth. Nothing can hide under the rays of the sun. The downside to this card, and even the most positive card does have a downswing, it could be a little too intense, right? Like with the fire and the heat. I'm sure some of you have had sunburn a time or two. This energy could be very, very intense. So, especially with what I was saying about the overwhelm, it's something you need to watch out for. But again, very positive. We're not going to call a positive card a negative until we see other proof. Now, moving to the middle, as we get this sun right back where it belongs by the amethyst, where it could hang out. We have the Six of Cups, and this is a card of soul ties, soul connections. We see the two kids there sharing a cup with each other. So whether it's a person that you care deeply for, it doesn't always have to be romance. It could be like a really good friend, family member, just someone where there's a lot of history and on a similar vibe. So I love this. Really strong for soul connections. But aside from that, this is a card that could represent memories, the past, history. So whether it is a person that you have history with, maybe some of you are a little more sentimental than you normally are, taking a lot of trips down memory lane, right? Like thinking and all these memories popping back up. This card can also show up when things pop back up and return, just like we saw last week. So it's interesting how that energy bled over. That door could still be open. Now, what's the downside of the Six of Cups? Sometimes when we have a really good vibration and connection with a person, we could share energy. And sometimes we're not always on the vibration. So this could sometimes be a card that represents some interpersonal issues. But again, it's positive. It leans positive. On the back end, we have the Seven of Swords. If there's anything we really need to watch out for in this spread, it's going to be this guy right here. And we see him, he has the fez. He's making away with all the swords, as I already mentioned. In its most positive sense, this could just represent mystery, the hidden, something that's not on our radar, something we don't see right now. So, like, there is this blinded type of energy connected to it. In its worst case scenario, it could represent people or things that we need to be very cautious with or very careful about. This card could represent lies and secrecy and thieves. And again, I'm not going to turn it into a huge warning yet, because again, it could just be something that we're not seeing. But at the same time, I'm always cautious whenever the Seven of Swords shows up, because it's like, I'm keeping an eye on you. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Gemini. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message. which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the sun. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Gemini, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is the sun here for my good friends? Why is the sun here? Cool, thank you. This feels great, actually. So we have the Seven of Cups, and I remember I said earlier about like this dreamy energy we were getting with the Oracle card. The Seven of Cups represents that, but it's in reverse underneath it. Now, to me, this is kind of representative of a pleasant surprise, right? Because with the Seven of Cups, yes, it represents options, choices, and paths. But to me, it's also something that we think about a lot, something that we may have possibly tried to plan out. So seeing it in reverse, obviously, we got double sevens happening here as well. Underneath the most positive card in the deck, it's like, I didn't know it could get this good, or I did not see this positive thing coming. So hopefully this Seven of Swords doesn't balance that off in the other direction on the back end. But I like this. It's like, if it's not an unexpected or surprising winner victory, because it could be both, where it's like, wow, I wasn't expecting this, I'll take it. Like, I love the surprising aspect to the win energy. Again, whether it's work, business, money, personal relationships, all can apply here. It's a win that I was not planning for. It's a win that I was not expecting. Claimable. We'll take that every day. Um, Now, if I were to give another slight message, the Seven of Cups in reverse is very realistic. It's very pragmatic, and it's also an energy that's set in its ways, where it's like, I don't want all these Seven Cups. I know what I want, I know what I like, and I like what I like. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just very set on an outcome that it wants to receive. So for some Geminis, aside from the unexpected, surprising win, there could be something you're dealing with where it's like, no, this is how it needs to be. This is what I like, this is what I want, and I will accept no less. So again, that could be great, but at the same time, it could be difficult. Again, I mean, you know, Geminis are going through a whole bunch, but we'll just claim it as an unexpected or surprising winner victory. Let's keep moving. Let's see what's up. I like it. I think it's good. When that Seven of Cups in reverse first came out, I was like, yeah, I really like this. So let's go in on the Six of Cups. Let's see what that has. The thing I really want to get to is that Seven of Swords, but we'll see. We'll see. So why is that Six of Cups here? Okay. Queen of Pentacles in reverse underneath it. Okay, so if you're connected to a birth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, them showing up in reverse under. Yeah, but this isn't an energy that sometimes you can't change the past. Sometimes, like, what's done is done. And I do know that there are some spiritual tactics, especially for manifesting and stuff, where you can go into your own mind and you can edit the past to kind of help you move forward in the future. So I don't want to paint too broad of a stroke here. But when I see the Six of Cups with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, it's like, if only I could go back and change this, or if only I could go back and do this again. So it's like that same revisiting energy that I was picking up. Could it be slight regret? I'm not saying it's you, but it's like, I should have handled it this way, or I could have handled it that way. I wouldn't beat yourself up too much about things like that. You know, we're all human. And certain things, like especially unplanned for things and situations, of course, there's different ways we could handle things. But yeah, when I see the Seven of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, it's like, I wish I could try that again, or I wish I could do it differently. So again, don't beat yourself up too much about that if those thoughts arise attached to any situations in this time. But yeah, there's this energy still where there's a revisiting, or wanting to revisit, or wanting to try something again, or do it a different way. And that could be good for some of you. But we're going to go in on the Seven of Swords. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with those spiritual tactics of like going into your mind, reprogramming your subconscious mind, and trying to change the past to change future outlooks. I think that's valuable for some people. But let's go in on the Seven of Swords. Let's see what that has. Just don't regret the past too much. And again, if that's not you, that could be somebody else where they might be kicking themselves in the pants. So, but let's see what's up with the Seven. So it's like we have totally different things, potentially different situations. Okay, so there is an energy to be cautious about, but I don't think it like directly affects a lot of you. So we have the Three of Cups in reverse underneath the Seven of Swords. Now, I do believe, especially with some of my placements, like I have a Scorpio moon, where it's like, okay, it's good to enjoy the good times, but also be cognizant of how things might go wrong, right? And like when I see the Seven of Swords with the Three of Cups, it's like things are going good, a little too good. What could go wrong with this? It's like somebody trying to troubleshoot before the fact, like looking for a problem before there actually is one. Now, that can be very valuable depending on what you're going through, where it's like, all right, I'm on this road. What can go right? What can go wrong? So it's like we have the looking into the past and the looking into the future. But if we put that message in a basket and put it to the side for now, there could be a person that spirit just wants you to be cautious with around you in your circle. Like the threes, all the threes, especially this three of cups, can represent people that we speak to semi regularly at the very least. So whether it's friends, family, coworkers, when I see it in reverse underneath the seven of swords, it's like, keep an eye on that one. Like you don't have to hyper focus. So there could be a very specific person or individual that spirit wants you to be cautious about or beware of. Now, I'm not saying that to try to like get you all paranoid or nervous. You would know if that message hits for you. If there's someone where it's like, I'm not sure about that one, it's probably who we're talking about here. Um, I don't think you need to be very proactive, but I think there is someone that you need to keep an eye on. But I think also for some of you, this could be a person that's like separated by a degree, where it's like a friend of a friend, or maybe someone you're related to has a friend or someone they deal with, and you're like, I don't know how I feel about that person. I feel like for some of you, it's like separated by a degree. I know that's very specific. I feel like I'm doing a personal reading here, but let's go through and do a quick recap. There's some good stuff here, absolutely, but then I do have the cautious approach too. If you kindly look in the box, position number one, it's like we hit a home run right off the jump, right? We got the sun with the seven of cups in reverse underneath it. To me, that's a surprising, unexpected winner victory. I'll take it, claim it, beautiful stuff. But this is also an energy that's very sure of the result that they want, where it's like, I like what I like, I want what I want, and I will take this and nothing less. Nothing wrong with that. Moving to the center, we have the six of cups with the queen of pentacles in reverse. There is this strong window opening where a variety of things could pop back up or return in this time, just like we saw last week. But there is also this energy that wishes it could do something differently. Like if I could go back, I would do this like this instead of doing that. I would say just try not to beat yourself up too much about the past in this time. Moving to the back end, we have the seven of swords with the three of cups. Yeah, I mean, it's a prudent thing sometimes to look at the road you're on and say, hey, what could go wrong? As long as you're not in that pessimistic space too long. Like, don't dwell there. But then there's this person where spirit's like, just keep an eye on that one. You don't have to do anything yet, but just watch the moves. And I feel for some of you, it's separated by a degree, like a friend of a friend or a friend of a family member. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card going. What do we got for Gemini? What do we got for our good friends here? There we go. Take it. Okay. So we got two cards, and I'm going to put them both out there, which is something I rarely do. But I don't know. I feel like the way they flew out of my hands, we're just going to do it that way. So we have two major arcana showing up here. We have the Emperor and the Chariot. Okay, now the Emperor, that does represent the zodiacal season we are in currently, which is Aries season. I'm going to try to get these cards as straight as possible. And it could also represent authority figures, bosses, paternal figures. And then we have the Chariot, which represents Cancer. Big when it comes to action, moves, determination. So again, when I see this energy, watch out for power struggles. Watch out for people butting heads again, like especially people around you where it's like, no, I'm the boss. No, I'm the boss. No, you have to do that. No, you do this. If there's anyone that you feel like they're forcing you or forcing your hand in some kind of way, that's something to really beware of when these two cards combine in the shadows, because the Emperor can also be very, very controlling and the Chariot can lash out. So it's like we have the cause and effect, action, reaction type of thing going on here. So again, anyone that's too bossy, anyone trying to tell you what to do or how to handle things, like there's this energy that could lash out from that. So that's a very intriguing mixture. And again, we got Cancer, we got Aries showing up here. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. But this can also be spirit telling you to be strategic in how you handle something, which we kind of saw. So, Gemini, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the April subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the April subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice winner's choice once again. At the end of the month, I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to either win their choice of the Gilded Tarot Royale or one of the custom made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So, winner's choice. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, you can let me know down in the comments, how much do you know about the meanings of tarot cards? Are you an expert reader? Are you a beginner, intermediate? Do you know a lot? Do you know a little? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my posts tab. YouTube changed it. And yeah, that's where it'll be, my friends. Much love, and I'll talk to you soon.